Hello everyone, this is Payal Vacha. Welcome to Pharma Desert. In this video, we will discuss about sterilization by radiations. So let's get started. These are the list of contents we will discuss in this video. First one is what is desiccation, sterilization by radiation. First one is ultraviolet radiations. Next one is X-ray. Next one is gamma rays sterilizer, cathode rays, non-ionizing radiations. In non-ionizing radiation, UV radiation, merits of UV radiation, and last one is sterilization by filtration. We will discuss one by one. First one is desiccation. What is desiccation? Desiccation of microbial cell which causes a cessation of metabolic activities followed by decline in total viable population. So desiccation of any microbial cell that causes death of metabolic activities followed by decline in or reduction in total viable populations. In general, the time of survival of microorganism after desiccation varies depending on the following factors. So in general, the time of survival of microorganism after desiccation that is different depending on various factors. Like first one is which kind of microorganism is present. Second one is the material in or on which microorganisms are dried as well as the completeness of the drying process. So what is desiccation? Desiccation of microbial cell that causes cease of any metabolic activities followed by reduction in total viable population. Next one is in general time that is required for survival of microorganism after desiccation that is depends upon various factors like which kind of microorganism is present. Second one is the material in or on which the organisms that is dried and completeness of drying process. The physical conditions to which the dried organisms are exposed. There is the also one condition at which conditions the dried organisms are exposed. Example light, temperature as well as humidity. All are the factors they affected to desiccation. Species of gram-negative cocci such as gonococci and meningococci, they are sensitive to desiccation and they die in matter of hours. So that is regarding species of gram-negative cocci such as gonococci as well as meningococci. Both the cocci species that is a gram-negative and that is a very sensitive to desiccation. They died in matters of hours. Streptococci are much more resistant and some survive weeks after being dried. What is desiccation exactly? Desiccation that is some removal of moisture from something or one type of dehydration that is called as a desiccation. So streptococci species that are much more resistant compared to gonococci and meningococci. So they will survive some weeks after being dried. And dried spore of microorganism are known to remain viable indefinitely. So, in this desiccation, gram-negative species like various cocci, gonococci and meningococci, they are highly sensitive to desiccation. So, they will die in matters of hours, while streptococci, they are much more resistant and They are survive weeks after being dried. In the process of lyophilization, organisms are subjected to extreme dehydration in the frozen state and then it is sealed in a vacuum. So in lyophilization process, organisms they are subjected to extremely dehydrate in frozen state and after that is sealed in vacuum. What is lyophilization? That is also called as freeze drying. It is a process in which water that is completely removed from a product after it is frozen and that is placed under a vacuum allow the ice to charge directly from the solid to vapor without passing through a liquid phase. So lyophilization that is one type of process in which water that is completely removed from product after it is frozen and that is placed under the vacuum which allow the ice to charge directly from the solid to vapor without passing through a liquid phase. And in this condition, desiccated or lyophilized culture of microorganisms which remain viable for many years. So lyophilized culture they remain viable for many years. Next one is sterilization by radiation. In sterilization by radiation, various rays are available. First one is A, that is a gamma rays. Second one is X-ray, UV rays, infrared rays, microwaves, radio waves, etc. In diagrammatic sketch of radiant energy spectra, if wavelength is increases, energy is decreases. And in another side, if lower the frequency, longer the wavelength, and if higher the frequency, shorter the wavelength. If wavelength is increase, energy that is decrease. Wavelength and energy that is opposite in direction, while frequency and wavelength that is also opposite in direction. If higher the frequency, shorter the wavelength. If lower the frequency, longer the wavelength. In sterilization by radiation, first one is energy transmitted through space in a variety of forms is generally called as radiation. What is radiation? Energy that is transmitted through space in a form of various varieties that are called as radiations. Radiation sterilization, that is also known as cold sterilization, and as it is a non-thermal method. So radiation sterilization that are also called as cold sterilization, that is a non-thermal method. So in this or by using radiation sterilization, not any type of heat it is applied, so it is known as non thermal method. Destruction of microorganism that is results from interference in the metabolism of the cells. So destruction of microorganism that is result from interference in the metabolism of cells. First one is UV radiation, ultraviolet radiations. UV radiation in the region of 2650 100 angstrom wavelengths have the highest bactericidal efficiency. That means UV radiation, particularly in the region of 2650 angstrom wavelength that have highest bactericidal efficiency. What is bactericidal? That means kill the bacteria. It is commonly used in reduction of airborne contamination, in the maintenance of aseptic areas and rooms within the processing environment in pharma industry. So that is commonly used for reduction of airborne contamination in maintenance of aseptic areas as well as rooms within processing areas in pharmaceutical industry. So that is particularly useful for reduction of airborne contamination and maintain aseptic areas in pharmaceutical industry. Many lamps are available which emit a high concentration of UV light in the most effective region, that is about 2600 angstrom to 2700 angstrom. That means many UV lamps are available in pharmaceutical microbiology laboratory. They permit or they emit a high concentration of UV light in most effective region, that is about 2600 to 2700 angstrom. Next one is germicidal lamps, which emit UV radiations that are widely used to reduce microbial populations. Example is they are used extensively in hospital operating rooms, in aseptic filling rooms, in pharma industry, where sterile products are being dispensed into vials or ampoules, and in food and dairy industries for the treatment of contaminated surface. So germicidal lamps, they also emit the UV radiation and that is widely used to reduce microbes as well as that are also useful to reduce microbial population. Let's take an example. They are used extensively in hospital operating rooms. So that type of germicidal lamps that are particularly used in hospital operating rooms, in aseptic filling rooms, as well as any pharmaceutical industry in which all the sterile products being dispensed into vials or ampoules, as well as that is also used in food, dairy industry for the treatment of any contaminated surfaces. UV light that is absorbed by a nucleic acid of the cell where it does the greatest damage. So UV light that is absorbed by nucleic acid of cell and they directly damage. An important practical consideration in using this means of destroying microorganism is that UV light has very little ability to penetrate in any matter. So what was the limitation of UV radiation? Limitation is for destroying any microorganism, UV light that has a very little ability to penetrate in any products or any microorganism or any matter. Only the microorganism on the surface of object where they are exposed directly to UV light, they are susceptible to destruction. So limitation is that UV light that have a little ability to penetrate into the matter, UV light, they are directly focused on the microorganism that are present on surface of object, and where they are exposed directly to UV light, they destruct only that type of microorganism that are present on surface of object. Otherwise, they do not directly penetrate into the any objects. Second one is X-ray. X-ray are lethal to microorganism and higher forms of life. So X-ray that are pathogenic to any microorganism in higher form of life. Unlike UV radiations, they have considerable energy and penetration ability. So opposite to UV radiation, X-ray have a considerable energy as well as they have a penetration ability. So they work effectively in object also. However, they are impracticable for purpose of controlling microbial populations because they are very expensive to produce in quantity. They are difficult to utilize efficiently since radiations are given off in all directions from their point of origin. So they are impracticable for the purpose of controlling microbial populations. Why X-ray are impracticable for the purpose of controlling populations? Because they are very expensive to produce in large quantity, as well as they are difficult to utilize efficiently since radiations are given off in all the directions from their point of origin. So limitation of X-ray is that is a very expensive to produce in quantity, as well as they are difficult to utilize efficiently since radiations are given off in all the directions from their point of origin. Next one is gamma rays. In gamma rays that are similar to X-ray but are of shorter wavelength and higher energy. So gamma rays that are almost similar to X-ray but they are of shorter wavelength as well as they have higher energy. They are capable of great penetration into matter and they are lethal to all life including microorganism. So gamma rays they are capable of great penetration into matter. So gamma rays that have a to capability to directly enter into the objects and they are pathogenic to all the microorganisms because of their great penetration power. So what was the difference between UV rays and gamma rays? UV rays they only destruct microorganisms that are present on surface of objectives while gamma rays that have a great penetrating power and that have a microbicidal effect. That means they kill the microorganism and gamma rays are attractive for use in commercial sterilization of materials of considerable thickness or volumes. So that are particularly used for commercial sterilization of materials that have a considerable thickness or any volumes. Example is packaged foods as well as medical devices. Mechanism of action of sterilization by gamma rays. First one is gamma rays sterilizer. Gamma rays are similar to X-ray but are of shorter wavelength and higher energy. We already discussed. Second one is they are capable of great penetration into metals as well as they are lethal to all life including microorganism, that is also similar, and great penetrating power compared to UV rays and X-ray. Gamma rays for sterilization are usually derived from cobalt 60 source and the isotope is held as pellets packed in metal rods and each rod carefully arranged within the source. So gamma rays for sterilization that is particularly derived from cobalt 60 and that is an isotope that is held as pellets packed in metal rod and each rod carefully arranged within the source. The source is housed within a reinforced concrete building with 2-meter thick walls. So that is the source and this source it is housed within a reinforced and concrete building with 2-meter thick walls. Articles or any object being sterilized that are passed through radiations chamber on a conveyor belt and move around raised source. So any objects they being sterilized they are passed through irradiation chamber on a conveyor belt as well as they are move around raised source. Second one is cathode rays. When a high voltage potential is established between a cathode and anode in an evacuated tube, the cathode emits beam of electron that are called as cathode rays or electron beams. So what is cathode rays? When high voltage potential that is established between cathode and anode with the help of or in evacuated tube. The cathode they emit beam of electron. So what is the exact meaning of cathode rays? When high voltage potential that is established between cathode and anode In evacuated tube, cathode which emits beams of electron and that are called as cathode rays, otherwise that are also called as electron beams. Special types of equipment have been designed which produce electrons of very high intensities, and those electrons are accelerated to extremely high velocities. This intense beam of accelerated electrons are microbicidal as well as having other effects on biological and non-biological material. So this intense beam of accelerated electron that have a microbicidal effect as well as that have an effect on biological as well as non-biological materials. The electron accelerator, a type of equipment which produce the high voltage electron beam, and it is used today for sterilization of surgical supplies, drugs and other materials. So electron accelerator, that is a type of equipment, they produce high voltage electron beam, and that is particularly used for sterilization of surgical supplies, drugs and any other materials. One of the unique feature of process is that the material they can be sterilized after it has been packed and at room temperature. So one unique feature of this process is material they can be sterilized after it has been packed properly at room temperature. An electron beam radiation has limited power of penetration, but within its limit of penetration, sterilization is accomplished on very brief exposure. So electron beam radiation, particularly in cathode rays, that have a limited power of penetration, but within its limit of penetration, sterilization that is accomplished on very brief exposure. Next one is non-ionizing radiation, that is the UV radiation. That is the same, we already discussed UV radiation. UV radiation in the region of 2650 angstrom wavelength with the highest bactericidal efficiency. It is commonly used in reduction of airborne contamination, particularly for maintenance of aseptic area as well as maintain sterility in pharmaceutical industry. And many lamps they are available which emit a high concentration of UV light ranges about 2600 angstrom to 2700 angstrom. Germicidal lamp they also emit UV radiations and they are widely used to reduce microbial populations. Germicidal lamp they also emit UV radiation. They are particularly used to reduce various microbial population like that are used in hospital operating rooms, that are used in aseptic filling rooms for maintaining aseptic area, as well as that are used in pharmaceutical industry where the sterile products that are being exposed, that are being dispensed into vials or ampoules, as well as that is also used in food dairy industries for the treatment of contaminated surfaces. UV light that is absorbed by nucleic acid of the cell where it does the greatest damage. An important practical consideration in using these means of destroying microorganism is that UV light has very little ability to penetrate in the matter. So what was the limitation? We already discussed. Limitation is that UV light has a very little ability to penetrate into the matter, and only the microorganism on the surface of object where they are exposed directly to UV light they are susceptible to destruction. Mechanism of UV radiation. Figure is critical formation and simultaneous repair of thymine dimer caused by UV light. First one is figure of thymine dimer is present. Thymine dimer, that means two thymine pair it is present, and in two thymine pair UV light it is exposed. In first stage, exposure to UV which causes adjacent thymine to become a cross link forming a thymine dimer and disrupting their normal base pair. That means in first step UV light that is exposed to thymine dimer. Due to that reason, thymines which become cross-linked with each other and they forming a thymine dimer and they disrupt their normal base pair. So thymine dimer, their normal base pair that is disrupted by exposing UV light. Second one is an enzyme cut off and removes the damaged DNA. That means after thymine dimer that is cross-linked and normal base pair that is disrupted, the enzyme that is cut out, thymine dimer that is cut out and remove the damaged DNA pair. So removed damaged DNA thymer pair. And next one is DNA ligase enzyme which seals the remaining gap by joining the old and new DNA. So DNA ligase enzyme they seal the remaining gap by joining old as well as new DNA. And last step is new DNA that is added. DNA polymerase fill the gap by synthesizing new DNA using the intact strand as a template. So first step is exposure to UV light. When UV light that is exposed to thymine dimer they are close link, they forming a thymine dimer and they disrupt or they break their normal base pair. After breaking normal their base pair, second step is the enzyme thymine dimer that is cut out and that is remove the damaged DNA. After that, that is completely removed. Next one is new DNA polymerase fill the gap by synthesizing new DNA and using the intact strand that is act as a template. After that, new DNA that is added, DNA ligase which seal the remaining gap by joining the old and new DNA. That is the mechanism of action of UV radiation. Merits of UV light. It controls and maintains the microorganism in air. So, UV light, they control and maintain microorganism in air as well as UV radiation lamp or a germicidal lamp that is abundantly and profusely employed in a variety of such sensitive areas as operational theaters, hospital rooms, nurseries and cafeterias. So UV radiation lamp or a germicidal lamp that is abundantly and profusely that is employed in variety of sensitive areas like that is used in operational theater, hospital rooms, nursery and cafeteria for maintain sterilization and maintain aseptic area and reduce microbes. UV light or radiation is invariably employed to sterilize biological products such as serum and varieties of vaccines. So UV light or any UV radiation that is invariably employed to sterilize any biological product. So UV light that is also exposed to any biological product for sterilization purpose like serum, variety of vaccines, all are sterilized with the help of UV lights. UV light is also employed to sterilize the drinking water in homes, hospitals and public areas. So that is also useful to sterilize drinking water as well as UV radiation. It is also used for sterilization of ultimate treated municipal wastewater for agriculture and horticulture purpose. So UV radiation that is also used for sterilization of ultimate treated municipal wastewater for agriculture as well as horticulture purpose. Next one is sterilization by filtration. First one is bacteriological filter. For many years, a variety of filters have been available to the microbiologist which can remove microorganisms from liquids or gases, and these filters are made of various metals such as asbestos pad in Say's filter, diatomaceous earth in Bergfeld filter, porcelain in a chambered and posture filter and sintered glass disc in other filters. So various bacteriological filters are available. For many years, a variety of filter have been available to remove microorganisms from liquid as well as gases. And these filters are made up of various materials like asbestos, PED that is present in SAIDS filter, diatomaceous earth that is present in Berkfield filter, porcelain in Chamberlain, and posture filter and sinter glass disc in other filters. The mean pore diameter in this bacteriological filter ranges from approximately 1 to several micrometers. Most filters are available in several grades based on the average size of pores. So mean pore diameter in bacteriological filter that is about 1 to several micrometers. And most filters that are available in various grades and based on various grades is based on average size of pores. In recent years, a new type of filter termed the membrane or molecular filter that has been developed whose pores are of uniform and specific predetermined size. So in recent years, a new type of filter termed the membrane or molecular filter that has been developed and whose pores are of a uniform as well as predetermined size. Membrane or molecular filter are composed of biological inert cellulose ester. So membrane or molecular filter, they are composed of biologically inert cellulose esters and they are prepared as a circular membrane of about 150 micrometer and thickness and contain millions of microscopic pores of very uniform diameter. So they are prepared as a circular membrane that is about 150 micrometer thickness and they contain millions of microscopic pores of very uniform diameter, and filter of this type they can be produced with known porosities that is about 0.01 micrometer to 10 micrometer. Membrane filter that are used extensively in the laboratory and in industry to sterilize fluid materials. So membrane filter that are particularly used in any laboratory as well as the industry for sterilization of fluid as well as materials, while the development of high efficiency particulate air filter has made it possible to deliver clean air to room. So HEPA filter that is particularly used to maintain aseptic area and to maintain sterility purpose. This type of air filtration together with a system of laminar airflow is now used extensively to produce dust and bacteria free air. So this type of HEPA filter that is particularly one type of system that produce laminar airflow and that remove dust as well as they produce dust free as well as bacteria free environment. For any query or doubts related to topic, please write your questions in comment box. Thank you.